All right. My overreaction. Kwesi dominated week one and won the day. Because in a lot of ways, this Vikings roster is built a lot smarter than it was maybe a year or two ago. A lot of people were like, Danielle Hunter, you want to let him walk out the door? 16 and a half sacks. Not really sure about that. Well, he's making $24.5 million per year. He had one pressure against Indianapolis. I think maybe he had a sack, but he had one pressure. One game. That might be an overreaction in its own right. But let's look at some of the guys the Vikings added this offseason. Andrew Van Ginkel, $10 million. He had a sack. He had a pick six. He flew all around the field, and he just downright looked awesome on Sunday. You had Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner had a sack. He's making $3.9 million AAV. Miss all those day 3 draft picks after Sunday, but, I think Dallas Turner is going to be a good player. Jonathan Grenard didn't have a sack, but he had 5 quarterback pressures. The Vikings defense pressured Daniel Jones on 40% of his dropbacks on Sunday. And I haven't even mentioned Patrick Jones, who had 2 sacks in a reserve role. He was flying around the field. So if you combine all of those guys, I think I added Patrick Jones in my article for zone coverage today. That's $34 million that the Vikings spent on their edge rusher room for 4 players. Houston Texans got 1 player and 1 pressure on Sunday, but that's not even the start of it. Let's go down to Atlanta. Let's check on our friend Kirk Cousins.
Who's down there? Oh,
yeah. Let's check out our friend Kirk Cousins, making a cool $45 million this year. He threw it back in the first quarter, and every Viking fan said, I know exactly what's going to happen in this game, because he went, Notre Dame, Michigan, and at the end of the game, he throws an interception when the Falcons have a chance to take the lead. The Falcons defense holds the Steelers to the field goal. They did their job. Kirk Cousins comes out. He's got no timeouts, down by 8 points. The first play he does, check down, 7-yard out route, gets tackled in bounds, tick, 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 tick. Second play, spike. Third play, TJ walks, sack, game over. Meanwhile, Sam Darnold's over in the Meadowlands.
Before, I think.
Yeah, it sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it? Sam Darnold is in the Meadowlands. He's throwing for 208 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He has a higher PFF grade than Patrick Mahomes after 1 week. And I was told this franchise was not going to survive Kirk Cousins leaving. Welcome to the rookie quarterback window, folks, because I say this loosely because J.J. McCarthy is injured. But if you need something, you don't have to trade down 15 times and get 17 7th-round draft picks to go fill it. You can say, hey, we need a cornerback. Here's Stephon Gilmore. Let's sign him. He's the 7th graded cornerback after week 1. Hey, maybe we can let a guy like Danielle Hunter walk, replace him with a bunch of players, and make our team, huge concept, even better. So looking at everything, Kwesi dominated week 1. And I feel like Kevin O'Connell should have given him a game ball on Sunday.
I mean, yeah, he only gave up 5 on Sunday, and I thought that was a very small amount for Kevin O'Connell. So maybe they're reducing that as well.
I've heard it's been a little tougher with training camp and stuff. So maybe he's like, all right, we're peeling back the game ball. He's slowly going to morph into like an offensive Mike Zimmer. Just soon he's not even going to talk to the defense.
As far as overreactions goes, I don't think that's an overreaction. I do think that the Vikings could be kicking themselves because they probably should have done all this stuff 2 years ago instead of, trying to win with all the guys that they had in 2022, which they won 13 games in the regular season. But, they had a rabbit's foot the whole year. And then they lost in the first round of the playoffs to Daniel Jones and the Giants. So they got a little revenge on Sunday. But yeah, I don't think it's an overreaction at all to think that this was the right strategy this offseason, and it's paying off as it should, because you're spending money on your depth. Like with Kirk Cousins and Danielle Hunter, you got two players that were above average and cost a lot. And now with them gone, you're able to get, a handful or more of players who are above average and can contribute immediately and make an impact. They're not all pros, but you don't need that if you have a bunch of them on a team. You just want the overall level of your team to rise, and that's what the Vikings did.